and just hold it.
Okay.
Be aware because there's the button here.
Oh.
Just don't turn it off. But like you can hold anything else. All right. You need anything?
Are we
Are
on?
you comfy? You
I'm
good?
I'm comfortable.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. Here we go. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of In Moderation. Today I have my friend Cam with me. Cam, you look like so nervous right now.
Dude, I'm not. You're stressing me out.
Cam and I actually met freshman year. And we met through this guy who I was,
Seeing
seeing at the time.
my best friend.
Yeah. So we met through that and we just I think we just started seeing each other around places and saying, hey. Me and my friends would go to your frat a lot and we would
It was
always see each
just
other there.
out. It was just always
Yeah.
fun and a
Yeah.
good time when we were all together.
Yeah. So we just kind of our friendship developed honestly through going out.
Yeah, it's going out and just being stupid and being on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
It just fit and it was
Fun
great.
and chill, good vibes. So now we're seniors and it's weird. And weird fact, Cam and I didn't exchange phone numbers until the end of junior year.
Yeah, that was bad. I don't even know how we never. Well, I think we had each other's Snapchats,
Yeah.
but it was just we just saw each other and then just talked from there and
Yeah.
say, hey, we'll meet up later.
Yeah. And then I think I started working at UREC too. We would see each other at the gym a lot. So that.
Yeah, we're just in so many common places.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I met Cam. But Cam, tell us who you are, what you're doing, what you're up to, where you're at in life. Anything you feel like you need to
Anything I feel like
fill in about you, fill it in.
that's a lot. I'm not
Yeah.
in depth. I don't know.
Anything. Dive in.
Like
Start
what?
somewhere.
Doing like a biography.
Yeah.
I don't know. From Hampton, Virginia. Not the best of places, but it's a place.
It's a place.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of love being anywhere and everywhere. Love the water. Being out, came here, been here for 4 years, studying kinesiology in the process of grad school applications at the moment. So praying that works
Exciting.
out. That's scary, but
Post grad.
post grad, I want to do PT school.
Mm-hmm.
So again, hoping that just works out and get into somewhere.
You will.
Hoping so. But yeah, that's due in a week. So just been grinding
Yeah.
that.
Semester's starting to hit.
Well, that's it. Cause dude, I'm in no class. I am taking scuba diving. Scuba diving is the best thing. I got into scuba diving this summer in Australia. Went out to the Great Barrier Reef, and they're like, "Hey, sign up, $90, scuba dive with no experience." And I'm like, "That sounds like a great idea to do that." So I did that and just had the time of my life under the water, and it was the best thing. And I knew they offered a course here. It's just one credit, 8-9 weeks, do pool stuff, do your classroom stuff, and then you go out and do your 4 open water dives that you need, and bam, you're scuba certified for life.
That's sick. So now you can just go do that anywhere.
Pretty much. So
you think that'll become a new hobby for you?
Oh, I'd love to. If the money isn't an issue, yeah, I'd love to. 'Cause I'm going on a cruise in December for Christmas. My entire family. I think we're going somewhere south. So I'd love to, if there's an option, go scuba diving because that'd just be perfect.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So you said you were in Australia for this story. What brought you to Australia?
Well, I guess the kinesiology program had a study abroad in Australia, and I've known I want to do that since I was in high school. That's one of the biggest things that I've always wanted to do. I've got family there, and I've just always wanted to go there. So then finally, I guess in the program, I was able to apply, get through all that, got it, found my internship, worked with an Australian rules football team. That was sick, and it was just it was beautiful.
What did you do for your actual internship? We'll start there.
For my actual internship, I worked with an amateur Australian rules football team. So I don't even know how to describe it. Played on oval, weird rugby ball. You kick, pass, do a bunch of everything. It's football without pads, with some soccer, some rugby, and but they love it over there. It's the biggest sport and it's fantastic. So I work like a little amateur team, but it's still like very organized, like coaches, practices, like meals, us trainers. Like it was pretty legit. It was awesome. I just took care of the players. I helped reorganize their warm up because they had no idea what they were doing. So finally got them good stretches.
Nice.
Kept up with them when they got injured. Taped them up. I got very good at ankle taping.
Nice.
Which
my skill.
Weird skill that I have now is I can tape your ankle in about 5 seconds. So that's great. But I loved it, especially being like growing up in sports. Like it was just a locker room environment, and I fit in perfectly with the Aussies, and it was amazing.
That sounds amazing. Oh, okay, so like, did you go there knowing like you knew someone there at least?
Like in the program? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was so from JMU, it's kinesiology, heart school, or hospitality and sports and rec. So there's a bunch of us from JMU and a lot of us kin majors that all kind of knew each other going in. And then so it's through JMU, and then they expedite us out to a study abroad company to say. So there are people from all over the country. Like I had friends or made friends with kids from New York, Florida, California, Michigan, Ohio, like all over. So now I got friends all over, and that's been nice. We all just, hey, we're plopped in the middle of another country, and hey, survive and have fun. So that's really was, because there was like no help from anybody, and there were some scheduled events, but not much. Being there for like 2 months, it really was just, hey, you're on your own with groceries, food, basically everything.
So where'd you live there?
They put us up in international apartments. So
nice.
It was 6 people to a room. So it was me. It was 3 of us from JMU, 2 dudes from Florida, and a dude from West Virginia in my apartment. So the apartments wasn't bad. It was what you need. The bed sucked. I will say that.
Yeah.
It was like a little shack, but I had a kitchen, had a living area, had a gym on the first floor. But for being international students, it was international. Like we were like some of the only people who spoke English in the building. So that was just interesting.
What was that like?
It was interesting. Honestly, what my biggest culture shock going over there was you don't really take into account how close you are to Asia. So in downtown Melbourne, it was predominantly 95% Asians. And so you had to travel like decently out of the city to actually start being with Australians and whatnot. So, I mean, the food and everything was fantastic. The Asian food, some of the best food I've ever had. But yeah, so predominantly Asians were in the heart of the city in our building. So it was just cool, seeing, again, I mean, they're in another country too. So it's just seeing how everybody gets along and works together. So it was nice.
Were you able to like connect with people who like you didn't speak the same language as?
It's not really any of that, because I mean they kind of paid us no attention regardless. Like it was more just the Aussies, and listening to them speak, you really had to listen intently because they shorten everything, and some things you like run by you like 3 times. You're just like, what are they saying? But I love it. It's so much, and their accents are amazing.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I think it's so cool to be able to like interact with people who are like so different, but you're actually so similar when you give it the chance. Like I remember I did a trip to Haiti. I did a mission trip with my grandma, and when we were there was like these kids who were working at the place we were staying, and the one night like they finished up their stuff, and it was me and this other girl my age. We like taught them how to play Go Fish, and they taught us how to play a card game without like being able to speak to each other because they spoke Haitian Creole. So like we couldn't speak to them. It was so cool. Just like connecting.
Yeah, no, they loved we did meet some people and like hung out at their place, and we introduced them to some beer pong and smoked them. That, and what else we play? We played spoons one night.
Oh, I love that game.
That was really, they really loved that. That was
so good. Fun.
But yeah, and then just learning stuff from them, like how they go out and whatnot. They dress up a lot nicer for just what we consider casual going out. So
Mm-hmm.
like some of the bars or clubs we went to, some of the guys got turned back because they weren't in the proper shoes. Like
Oh,
looked nice up top, but their shoes weren't up to standard. So that was really interesting.
huh.
So yeah,
That's interesting. So like outside of all the school stuff there and the snorkeling or scuba diving, what were some of like the best parts?
like just seeing stuff highlights.
Yeah, anything highlights.
Um, I held a koala. It's Queensland, Australia is one of the only places in the world, I'm pretty sure, that you can hold a koala, and those things are the best animals of all time. Like if anybody could have a koala, that'd be, oh my god. Like
How soft was it?
it was just a pillow, and it just sits there and does nothing, and it's just perfect. It's, oh god, the animals are so cool. Just seeing, like, being able to pet and hold kangaroos and being that close to them, it's just mind blowing. Because again, you think you'll never actually like be in the wild with these guys, but it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then went to Sydney for a weekend. Sydney was a great city, but I don't know if I could be there more than a weekend. Like the city, Melbourne was definitely the best city to be, but Sydney is like, you with the Royal Botanical Gardens, and like you turn a corner and you just see the Opera House, and it's just unreal.
Wow.
It's just fantastic, and you just look yourself. I mean, you picture everything that you ever think of Australia is that, and you're just there staring at it, and it's just mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then walk to the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which, that was ridiculous. I don't even know what all that is, but again, just seeing, again, what everything you think of Australia, you think Opera House, you think Sydney, you think kangaroos, koalas, the outback, and just seeing it was mind blowing at all
Mm-hmm.
times. I was just constantly in shock of going, this is the best thing ever. Just loved it all around.
That sounds so amazing. I like feel like by your face, like you're gonna go back there.
Oh, good, especially because I do have family there.
Yeah.
So that
Did you
was
get to see any of them?
kind of. So my aunt and uncle that do live there, my uncle's company was starting their next branch up in London.
Mm.
So they've been in London for the past 3 years. So, but I was lucky enough that my uncle was actually back in Australia in Melbourne for like 2 weeks while I was there, just doing stuff for his company. So I did get to see him as much as I could. Like,
Mm-hmm.
took me out, showed me around the town, had dinner with some of his friends, took me to good places to go. So that was really nice, and always checked up on me, and got to see where they live, because I just loved it. They live in like the best part of the city. It was fantastic, and yeah, definitely need to go back, especially because my aunt's there. She was getting homesick with it, because I mean,
Yeah.
she's, again, since I was a kid, she's dreamed of having everybody there,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, the only, I guess, nephew to finally go, and she wasn't there, kind of hit her hard. So
FOMO. Oh,
I definitely want to bring my family there
yeah.
someday, because God, it was beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
Do you
loved
have
it.
any other places you want to go? Or is that like now like you're like,
I mean, in the world, I want to see everything.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
with you.
we live in such a beautiful world, and there's so many things to see. Like, I mean, again, you see it everywhere. Like, there's not one place to stay at. I feel like travel as much as possible. And I don't know, I mean, that's just me, especially like growing up in a little dinky, crappy area. Like, I just want to get out and
Mm-hmm.
explore, because, like I said, the world is so beautiful, and there's so much to see.
So much. I don't, did you travel a lot like when you were younger or not really?
Kind of. I've been to England 5 times, but again, that's just because I have family there, and again, that's just going to the little village that they're at, spending Christmas with them. Going to London, but I haven't been to England in like
Mm.
8 years or so. So it's been a while since I've been over there. I've been to the Dominican Republic on the family vacation. I've been to Mexico. That's about it. So again, I want to see the rest of Europe, see South America,
Mm.
see Africa, Asia, everything else. Like, and just dive into the world's culture, because there's so much that we just don't know about the rest of the world.
Totally.
It's fantastic.
And like there's some things like those feelings you get in those moments and like those experiences, like you can read about it and watch all the movies you want, but like you don't get that feeling
Mm-hmm.
until like you're there, like
Yeah.
tasting the food, seeing the streets for
Yeah,
yourself.
until you're there looking the wrong way down the street and almost getting hit by a car,
Oh my god.
you don't know what it's like, because to just actually be fully immersed, be like, oh yeah, right, that's not how things work,
Yeah,
and it's just fantastic.
that's so cool. So coming, what's like your biggest takeaway from the trip coming back? Like, how do you feel about it? Has it changed you at all?
I mean, again, just more eye opening. Like, I'm very grateful that I've had that experience, because not many people get to do it, to one, get school credit and study for it, and two, also just be out abroad and live there for not, just a week on vacation, but actually live there for 2.5 months,
Mm-hmm.
and, be fully thrown into the culture. And again, it's just explore. Take the time while you can, and just do what you want, because you never know when your time's going to be called. So do it all now, because you can say, oh, yeah, I'll do it in 10 years, but you don't know what 10 years is going to be like. If you have the time now, why not? Or
So
again,
true.
just throw yourself out there and say, screw it sometimes.
Agreed.
So yeah,
Ah, and now we're back at JMU.
it's crazy. I know,
Yeah.
because it halfway feels like it was just snap my fingers and like that barely happened. So it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So here, you're involved in a bunch of things.
I am.
Give us the rundown of what you're
Rundown.
involved in.
I'm in Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity. I am in club soccer. I am a fitness manager at UREC. What else am I in? Is that it? I feel like I have more things. Um, I'm involved heavily with the kids in my major. I hang out with them a lot as well, because they're in PK, the like health sciences frat, social frat. So I hang out with them a lot and do a bunch of their things, just because I know basically everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really nice. But I think those are about the same main things, just around. So yeah.
Okay, so let's start with what is it like to be a frat boy?
I mean, I've
I,
loved it. I mean,
yeah.
coming into from high school to freshman year here, like, joining a frat's so stupid. Like, I don't get it. You basically paying for friends and whatnot. Like, I'm never gonna be like that. And then it's COVID, and there's no social environment whatsoever. So I was thinking to myself, like, I couldn't, like, club soccer didn't have tryouts. I couldn't go to club soccer. So I was like, talking with my dad and everything. I was like, hey, give it a shot. What's the most you can lose? And I knew a guy from a few towns over from me was in the fraternity. He brought me out, and I enjoyed with it. And then yeah, we got sent home. And then when we came back a month later, started pledging, went through all that, and haven't looked back since. I've loved it. I've made my best friends, met you and
That's
everybody
how we
through it.
met.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just, and it's nice being involved with things, especially because we're, and involved with the community and
Mm-hmm.
everybody else on campus. It's good to just get out there. I mean, I've lived in a fraternity house for the past 2 years, and yeah, just the close knit group of guys that will always be there for you. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's sick. Are you glad you did it at the end?
I am glad. I
Yeah.
am
Would
glad.
you have mm, would you have like done it sooner had you known that like this is
I did it as soon as I could. I did it fall freshman
you
year.
did fall.
Yeah,
Okay. I thought you made it for this.
yeah. Even if I think we had no COVID
Mm-hmm.
and it was what it was, I still think I would have joined
Really?
fall, if not spring freshman year. I think so. It's just given me so many opportunities in life, and just the network with it is ridiculous. Like, I've had so many of the older kids help me out with classes and what to take, and what's the right process to do things. And I've helped the younger kids out as well, as I've gotten older and I've gotten experience.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just the alumni networking is fantastic. So
Yeah.
it's always just great connections everywhere.
That's awesome. Relationships are huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Oh yeah.
Do you find like the same type of community with UREC and being like a manager there and club soccer?
Um, I'd say with UREC, yes and no, because it's more of like a work environment,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still fun because we're all doing the same thing. We're all bloody standing there for 3 hours, bored out of our minds. So we do chit chat and have our moments. And definitely when we see each other out and around, it is like casual. Hey, how's it going? What's up? But again, you always have that UREC bond to say of again, so many people on campus want to work there and be in that, and to think, we are privileged enough to work here and be lucky
Mm-hmm.
to do what we do. So it is nice in that regard. And then club soccer for me is like I've more played the soccer part instead of the social part,
Mm-hmm.
just because I guess social like fraternity wise, and that took up my time that way. But just I've always loved playing soccer, and again, finally being able to try out for it sophomore fall, making the team, going through that again. That's another large group of guys I am tight knit with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun, going out hanging with them. I've had the opportunity to play in some games. Went to the regional tournament last year, and it is again, it's the, what I've loved the most doing my entire life. So it's nice being out there, being competitive, getting good exercise. So it's good. It's again another outlet because
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to, especially in college, you don't need to define yourself to one organization. You don't have to be all in Greek life, and if you're not in, that's nothing else. Like branch out, do whatever you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and don't let anybody shit on you for it to say.
True.
So yeah.
How do you like find time? How do you make time and like find a balance of doing all these different things
Um.
on top of school?
Yeah, it has been hard, and honestly, it's like because the soccer practices they're like 4:45 to 6:45 p.m. during the week, so that's like key class time, key when you're going to be. So like last year, my course load was ridiculous. So I was maybe made like one practice a week if I was lucky, because it's just I had other priorities at the moment. It's study hard for your classes, and that took all my time, and I didn't have the time to afford or had class during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that dropped off, and again working as well because I still had to have my shifts and whatever. So that kind of sucked last year as timetable wise wasn't able to go out as much. But it is what it is. You live and let go, and you keep working. And here I am now, and
Mm-hmm.
in a week, once I'm done with all my stuff, I'm going to be able to practice 5 days a week, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah.
Yeah. So like managing priorities, I guess, is how you find the time to do it all.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We're here for school, so school always come first,
totally.
and then yeah, school and assignments will always come first. Then you have work, and then it's whatever you prioritize your time to be. Is that homework, going out,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do with yourself? Because at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy, and what are you going to get the most out of this experience?
What are some things that like you enjoy doing outside of like the orgs you're part of and school work and stuff? Like what's something you would just go and like do for yourself? For me, it's like I love to just go and like watch a sunset or like read a book sometimes.
I think it's just workout and exercising.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. That's always just me. Like oh crap. Like even like I just when I'm back home, like I live at the beach, and I run at the beach just constantly. That's all. My free time, like my mental health take care is going out and exercising, playing soccer, and be
Mm-hmm.
out in that. And it's just sitting and hanging out with my friends. Like I don't need much to be happy. It doesn't take. I don't need to be around people constantly. I don't need my phone blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
I just need simple, simple times, simple things. Like I'm not materialistic. I just need, I guess, little amounts of effort to
Mm-hmm.
make me happy. So yeah,
I totally get that. Have you always been like that? Or
pretty
has that like
much.
evolved?
I think I've always been like that. Like growing up with like nothing too much. That's all. That's all I had was just spend the time with your friends while you can, and play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I had growing up is just be outside and do whatever. So that's if I can be outside at all times, I will be. That is my favorite thing. It's just I don't care what I'm doing outside. I just like being outside.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
Do you prefer summer or winter?
It's summer. Just I don't know. I like being hot, so cold. That and like again, growing up at the beach, like I had snow maybe like 3 times growing up.
Really?
Yeah, so it was fantastic. It was a miracle when we got it and amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then summers were just heat waves the entire time. But I was always in the water, so it worked out. And I don't know, I just love being hot, so it's great.
Do you have you always lived like in the same house? Like you grew up in the same spot?
Um, Pretty much the same spot. We moved into my house now when we were in like 2006, so I was
Hmm.
like 4. So I've basically been there my entire life. My grandparents, both both sets of my grandparents live right down the street. Like
Oh, that's
my mom and
nice.
dad grew up in that area. So yeah, I've been basically concerned with that area my
Hmm.
entire life, and now I'm like, I never want to go back, and all I want to do is get as far as I can away from it. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but
I feel similar about where I'm from. I'm from a small town, and like I feel like my town is very much so like you either stay there forever or like you grow up and then you leave and you don't come back. And I don't want to go back either. So I don't really know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel where you're coming from.
yeah, no, I know that. And I know what happens to the people that stay, and I've lost my best friends to this system. They just
Yeah.
get caught up in the drugs, alcohol, the
Ugh.
violence, the gangs, and they just get consumed by it at a young age. And you know, you lose some of your best friends to it. And I've lost my best friend to it, and it sucks. And it just going home just brings back some dark memories, and sad to see go home. Oh yeah, this guy's addicted to this now. Oh, this guy's got 5 new tattoos. Oh, he's got a new baby mama. She's pregnant. Stuff like that that you went to high school with. Like I know, I tell you, like 5 different girls I went to high school with that have kids right now. It's kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous. And it's just I don't want to surround myself in that environment. I don't care where I end up, but I know there are better places to be than that.
Yeah.
So
Totally. I think
yeah.
your environment is huge when it comes to like how you grow as a person because the things that you surround yourself with like they totally matter.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like keep yourself from falling into like a bad mindset and like being like totally down like the whole time you're home?
Um, I mean, it is hard, but I guess just with growing up, like I have my spots that I go to and take
Hmm.
time. Like I go to the beach, I play soccer where I have grown up, and I just like made me into who I was, and just I always just put my head down and grinded because that's all I could do at the moment, and just succumb myself with work. So yeah, it's just I think that's what put my mindset and like my grind set to say into what it was, is because I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get out and make a better life for myself and for my family.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I love that. You gotta have some reason to want to like work hard and do the things that you do.
yeah. So I know that's a big thing. I don't like talking about home from other people because against everybody comes from whatever they come from. You never know that. But so I've always just like kept my home side to myself and like
Hmm.
not really talk about it. For like people, especially like coming here is actually a major culture shock for me because it's just
Really? How so?
then like everybody's from like Northern Virginia
Right.
and stuff like that, and upper, I don't know what to say, but like fair off to say kind of from where I came
Yeah.
up, and like was kind of used to like this large social environment with everything. Like I mean, I'd go to the party and there'd be like maybe 20 some people there, and I'm going to parties and there's hundreds of people, and like I didn't know how to act, how to
Mm.
talk with anybody. So like it took me probably to like sophomore year to like actually feel comfortable at parties and just know how to act around people like that,
Yeah.
and just so many random people.
Yeah.
And
It's hard
yeah,
because there's so many people around. It gets overwhelming at times.
yeah.
I agree.
Then the people who just like don't understand where you come from, or like your mindset, or like your vision
Yeah.
on things, or like especially like even what was funny to me, or caught me off guard a lot of times here, is like a lot of guys would wear their chains out like at all times, no matter what. Like where I came from, like you had chains, you tuck them because if they're out, they're gonna get snatched by somebody. Or like, you get an altercation, that's the first thing that goes. So I always got so I mean, I've always kept mine tucked as much as I can. I mean now I've like popped them sometimes, especially formal events. It looks nice, but yeah, coming here as freshman year, that was a big shock because I mean everybody's blatantly wearing their chains out at parties, and they're pretty nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, back home those would get eyed up and snatched pretty quickly. So yeah.
How did you start to like surround yourself with the right people in college? Like how do you find those similar-minded people to you?
It took me a while to find those people, or like settle in and actually be like, all right, these are actually the right people for me. And it's just, I guess, halfway just being out with them and observing like how they act. Like, I mean, I can be out with a bunch of, a large group of guys, but only like really be tight with a few of them. And it's just how they handle themselves, how they hold themselves, the characteristics to other people, and kind of where they come from as well. Because I mean, some of my best friends here come from like in other places like me, where it's just not the best of areas, but it is how it is. So we've kind of related on that matter and whatnot. And like the kids from, I'm not say, but like weller off, nicer environments and neighborhoods and all that kind of can't relate to that or think it's like, you're like, oh, it's so cool you came from like the hood and new gangs and all that. And I'm like, haha, yeah, like it's nice, but then actually know the extent of it. It's again culture shocking because it's completely different. You just play it off and it is what it is. But yeah, so just finally got like solidified my group like sophomore year of guys, and we got really close, and are still very close now. So it's just kind of having that same upbringing and mindset to know what it's like. So yeah,
that's cool to find a group like that.
Yeah,
because like some people don't, and like I think it's cool that you've been able to find a group like that you can like rely on. All right, I got one more thing for you.
One more.
If you could go back and talk to freshman Cam and tell him a little piece of advice that you knew now, what would you tell him?
Oh man. Let's say definitely relax. Relax some. Like, don't stress too much. Don't get too over involved with what people think, and like get out of your head some. Get out of your mindset. Definitely just relax. Not everybody is, your thoughts aren't as good as they think they are to say. I don't know, I always overthought like everything. I'd say something stupid and go, oh, immediately everybody like hates me. I'm so dumb. No, nobody cares. Like just get over it, relax, and just be out there. Definitely put yourself out there more, because I was hesitant, I was reserved, but I got over that. But yeah, definitely just relax. Maybe study a little bit harder, and just enjoy it, because man, it's gone by fast.
So fast.
It's ridiculous.
So fast.
I know. I'm like, I want to get done with like this next week and a half, and I just want time to just slow down.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's crazy.
I know. I've been really trying to like live in the moments and just like really soak it in, because it's gone by so quick.
I know, and I'm really trying to think about like the past 4 years. I'm just like, so many things have happened, gotten to so much, like it's just ridiculous. I can't even remember like everything that we've done. It's insane. God.
Good thing we have camera rolls now.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see half the pictures.
I want to hunt and see if I have any photos of us from like young.
Probably.
God.
Yeah, there are definitely some photos from a while ago.
Good times, man. I can't believe we've known each other for 4 years.
That's wild.
And look at this. 34 minutes have gone by.
34 minutes of talking. I know, dude. I didn't know if I...
Nervous for what?
I was never nervous. You just stressed me out. That's why.
It's all good.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
course, thank
I
you.
really appreciate you being here.
No, this was a lot of fun, actually.
Yes, I'm so happy.
This was a lot of fun.
Yay!
No, this was very well. This was great.
Cam, thank you, and everybody else, thank you too, and keep practicing all things balance, and we will talk to you next time on In Moderation.
Word.
Fun, right?
That actually was good, man. I enjoyed that. Holy shit, I was like therapy. Oh my god, bro. I enjoyed that. That was almost like a therapy session.
Fun, right?
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Fuck. Shit, dude.